Yeah, and all that. It's good. So anyway, so it's great to be back in New York. As you mentioned in the bio, I lived here for 10 years, the formative years of my young adulthood. Moved here at 22, single and broke. Left here at 32, married with a kid, and broke. My first professional writing job was right here in New York with Kaplan, the test prep company. Heard of Kaplan? Give it up, yeah. I used to write dummy SAT questions. There were 12 of us, all huddled in the same cold room, banging out analogies and reading comprehension passages and math problems involving the speed of trains leaving Chicago. This sounds rad, like some National Merit Scholar Arcadia, so it might come as a shock to hear that the job was, to borrow a word from the Kaplan lexicon, suck-ass. In retrospect, this is pretty obvious. Here were 11 dorks who knew what perspicacity meant, and I walked in there like it was the green room at Total Request Live. And what the fuck was I expecting? Certainly everyone else knew that the job was, at best, uncool. At parties, I would tell girls what I did for a living, and they'd recoil in horror, like I was a vampire with full-blown AIDS. You mean you write the SATs? Well, no, actually, I just do the narc! Seriously, it was just like that. Chris, back me up here. It was totally like that. What can I say? I was not the most perspicacious 23-year-old. Individually, I should add, in case any of them are here, my coworkers were all, to borrow Obama's phrase, likable enough. But for some reason, the collective energy in that place just sapped my will to live. Kaplan was a black hole of joie de vivre. It may have been because the heating was busted and it was always 48 degrees in there. I'm not exaggerating. I kept a thermometer on my desk in case OSHA showed up. 48 degrees. Seriously. I spent weeks at a time huddled under an old army blanket trying to start a fire by rubbing number 2 pencils together. So I may have been uncomfortable in the room because I was, you know, uncomfortable in the room. But really, I think my unease derived from the fact that of the 12 people there, I was the only one who was not a hardcore, monomaniacal, dyed-in-the-board Trekkie. Not fans. I'm a fan. I dig Kirk, I dig Spock, you know, I saw the new movie and it's great. These people went to conventions. They knew how to conjugate irregular Klingon verbs. They were off the charts. Do you remember the woman who wore her Trek costume to jury duty? They hired her after I quit. Seriously, that isn't actually true. I made that up. Curiously, some of the people in that room have gone on to be successful writers. I have a novel coming out this fall. Please, everybody, I made Harper make these just for this, so please take them home with you. It's very exciting. But whatever. This guy, Eric, wrote for The Daily Show. Later, he moved on to Colbert, and he actually won an Emmy this year. And my friend Sarah was the author of the Star Trek erotic fan fiction where Mr. Scott, Data, and LaForge gangbang 7 of 9. Thrusters to Max, Scotty, I'm giving it all I got, Cotton. I bring this up now because something on Facebook jarred my memory. One of the applications that went viral. You know what I'm talking about? The stupid crap that mucks up the news feed. Now it's the 15 books thing, but a few weeks ago it was the 5s. You remember the 5s? Everybody on Facebook, right? I hope. Okay. There's 5 albums you can't live without, 5 favorite beers, 5 friends you'd invite to an orgy, and so forth. The 5s. So the most interesting 5 by far was the 5 famous people I've met. My first reaction when I saw that was, what a loser I must be. I haven't met 5 famous people. I mean, I was intimidated. My friend Rich had met Bob Dylan. I mean, I don't like Bob Dylan, but that's still impressive. Or is it? Because the thing is, you just can't list the 5 famous people you met. You need to explain the circumstances. Because met can be defined as loosely as sexual relations. Now, if I had done the app, I have like Clinton on the brain with this. Okay, if I had done the app, instead of the 5 famous people I met, it would be 5 best celebrity sightings. Because the rules concerning celebrity sightings are pretty cut and dried. I know this from my time at Kaplan with the Trekkers, which, by the way, that's the preferred term, Trekkers. As if changing the suffix would not make them incorrigible dorks.